All right. Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Today is March 4th, a little bit later in the day than I normally do a video. Getting ready to eat dinner here pretty soon. But I had a question about, just general, what are some of the products that I think are, necessary in order to start making your own customs. And my, apart from the products I mentioned, just having a workspace, having a place where you can paint, having a place where you can work, kind of, I don't want to say undisturbed, but, that an area that doesn't have a lot of traffic, people traffic nearby, where you can kind of work and not be bumped or not have your cars bumped into and stuff like that. So that kind of goes without saying. Every hobby, you kind of need that area, that space in your home where you're going to do stuff. So so let me kind of go over just some of the basic things that I use or that I recommend if I'm starting off and I'm going to get into this hobby. So I've got this little cardboard table down here that I use, as you can see, just a regular setup here. It's there's a lot of crap on it, but it's something that works for me. So having a working space that's kind of dedicated to this area where I can glue something and just let it sit, and I can just leave it and then I can go over here if I to my other desk and stuff to do work or whatever else. So it's nice to have this dedicated workspace where I'm not constantly moving things around, because when you do have this hobby and you're tearing things down to bare metal and you are recreating things, things get bumped, things get scratched, things get nicked very easily. This is not a finish, right, that is like this finish. I think this finish is a little bit more durable than the finish that I'm putting on these cars. And so you really have to have that place where you're not going to have a lot of traffic and things being bumped. So outside of all that, let's talk about the products. So I would say, and this is in no special order, but I would say this is a product that you're going to want to buy. This is a Microscale Industries Micro Sole. It's a 1 fluid ounce bottle. I think this is the second bottle that I've had in my time of doing this hobby, which is 11 years. So you're looking at probably a 1 fluid ounce bottle is going to last you a long time. I don't think you need more than that. I mean, if you were doing 1/24 scale or something bigger, you might need a bigger bottle. But this 1 fluid ounce is plenty, and so I highly recommend that. There's another product that is like it, is this Micro Set. And just a word, and I know Microscale makes a lot of different products for hobbies and things like this, but I don't think it's necessary. I did buy it. I used it up pretty quickly just because it was a lifting agent, but from my experience, water just works fine. And I repurposed this for my clear sealer. But anyways, I think Microsole is really the only one that you need to buy from Microscale, in my opinion, right? This is all my opinion. Other people may have their own opinions. So I use also these little toothpicks. They're the super pointy toothpicks. I have a few of these that I use regularly, have these laying around. I think just getting some good toothpicks are nice to have. And you don't need too many, but not the flat head, the flat ones. These really super pointy ones are really nice and very useful for detailed work. You need a little area, or not area, but you need a little bowl, small bowl for holding your water, for doing the decals and rinsing your brushes for the sealer and stuff. So you definitely need that. I have this little cutting board that I use, so it's nice to have something like that. For me, you don't necessarily need that though. Now, when it comes to paint pens, well, I have these really thick glasses. They're reading glasses. They're really thick. But this really helps me. My eyes, as I've gotten older, right, you lose your near vision. your super close vision. But even when I was younger, it was helpful to have some magnification so you can really look closely at what you're doing. And I do think that's helpful. So maybe this is good. I don't like the little magnifying glass because I have to hold it. This is something I can put on my face and leave it there. I kind of put it on the bridge of my nose, so I can look long distance, and then I can kind of have it down low when I want to focus on something low. But anyways, having something to be able to look at closely to me is important. If you're really looking for perfection, you're looking for something that is just an outstanding, detailed product, I think this is definitely necessary. If you're younger and your eyes are good and you can see fine, then maybe you don't need it. Paint pens. So I use a red gloss. This is the testers, right? I'll go to the testers. Red gloss or gloss red paint pens. This is a gloss gray paint pen, although it's been ripped. I've had it for a while. This is a gloss black paint pen. Testers again, and this is a flat black. These are the four that I use most of the time. Now, I have had zero luck with a Testors white, so I bought a Sharpie white, gloss white paint pen. It's got the kind of the rounded tip on it. This works great. I use this, and the paint just flows a lot better than the Testors white, because the Testors white it would kind of gunk up on me, and it just wouldn't flow regularly. So the Sharpie works great, and then I use this for the Monster Energy Playoff Green. This works really good because I don't think Testors sells this kind of green in it, but this is almost a perfect match, as I'll show you in a minute. And then I have this chisel tip Sharpie permanent marker that I use for straight lines across, like roof lines and things like that across there. Yeah, so that's that. Now, I use a small pair of scissors for cutting out the decals. I think that's pretty important. I like, just the short, the short length of these, so you can get real decal. If you get big scissors, they're just a little too much. X-Acto knife. Primarily, my X-Acto knife is used, for scraping the paint off of the cars once I dip them in the stripper. But I also use it sometimes, as you may have seen, for painting. So sometimes, because the blade is so thin and it's so sharp and sturdy, I can get paint into these really small crevices with this thing. Better than the toothpicks, and even better than these little tiny brushes here. And so I use this for a lot of different things. Probably the most important tool that I use are these angle-tipped tweezers. So you squeeze and it opens, and so it default is in the closed position. I used to use regular tweezers, and I hated them. I just hated them. And when I saw this, I think I bought this online somewhere at a hobby store. I'm trying to remember what the name of it was, but it was probably like 7-8 years ago. I don't remember. But these are awesome, angle tipped, that can kind of reach in and get to areas that aren't easily accessible. So that it's kind of got that 45-degree angle. And again, I just love them. I love them to death. Use these all the time for decals. It's a terrific tool. I don't know, maybe it was like $5, $6 plus shipping. But yeah, I love this. There's no name on it. All it says is stainless Pakistan on here. So again, I'm not sure where I got it, unfortunately. Paint brushes. You're going to need paint brushes. I like the shorter ones, kind of this type of style, as opposed to this style. If I were to ever use this, it would be to replace my brush here that I use for sealing. So I would use brushes like this for sealing and for working with the decals and getting the water out when I'm actually decaling. I don't use these for painting. This type of brush I would use for painting. So so this is what goes into the paint stripper bottles and stuff like that. So pretty obviously about the paint, you know, you're going to need paint. I used to have all these different little bottles of, you know, Tester's paint, but I don't really use these hardly at all anymore. The paint pens are what I use, and if I'm not using a paint pen, I'm spray painting it. So these little bottles are nice and all, but for what I'm doing, you know, I really don't use them. I mean, very rarely. If I have to get a color, you know, the popular colors that I have, actually I'll show you here. Popular colors I have, I use this rust. This is actually a Models Master. I use rust, and pretty much the only thing I use it for is this area of the underbelly. If you're not painting the underbelly, then you probably don't need rust. But I'm just showing you again what I use. And then I use silver or aluminum. So this is something that I, you know, will stir up, and I'll dip my toothpick into it, and I'll use that for this little piece back here on the underbelly. I'm not really sure what that is. Some kind of gear or something, maybe, I don't know, off of the rear axle. And then I'll use it for doing the hood pins and the trunk pins. On all earlier models, I'll use it for the fuel door inside. So so I do use the aluminum or silver quite a bit. Okay. Of course, paper towels, right? So you have to have some paper towels for drying off your brush when you're sealing or using it for water. I use it for also cleaning off my toothpicks that I use, because I reuse things. And so I usually keep clean paper towel here, and then over here where my trash box is, I kind of have one that that I use for cleaning off toothpicks or whatever else, right? So I just keep it separate, separated out. Okay, so a product that I use is paint stripper. So I buy this. I think this was, I mean, I bought it for $5, but you can see it was $21.96. I think you can get this at Home Depot or maybe Walmart for less than 20 bucks. I buy it by the gallon because I use a lot of it, and this gallon will last me quite a while. I'll show you when I bought it. You can see I bought it on February 9th, 2019, and I opened it on December 7th of 2020, and it is it's practically full. So I use this paint stripper, and I pour it into this little tall glass jar, and that's where I dip. Got a coat hanger here, hang the cars on that, and I just dip it in there and let it sit over top and drip into there. So to me that works, but you're going to need a paint stripper. And as you've watched my videos, I take the cars completely apart, and then I reassemble them after I've stripped the paint and wire brushed them and steel wool, that kind of stuff over them. So I do use a wire brush. This is a cheapy one. Again, you can get this at Walmart or Home Depot, but I wire brush the car when I'm done, you know, stripping it. So that's that. I don't know if this is absolutely positively necessary, but I do have some steel wool that after I wire brush it, I kind of, you know, rub it over the car to get it completely shiny and everything like that. Sometimes I will use a metal polish, but I'm not sure that's 100% necessary for everybody. So my sealer that I use is this Pledge Floor Care Finish product. Not as easily found as it was before, but this is the product that I use. It's now Johnson & Johnson product, but this is what I use for a clear sealer. If I paint a car with a flat, white primer or flat black primer, before I decal the car, I'll usually put a coat of this on it, just to get it to a nice smooth and glossy surface before I decal it. So that is one thing to have. You definitely want a good sealer. So I've said this before, but I have a drill over here, and I use a 3/16 inch bit. 3/16. You can get them at Home Depot for, I buy DeWalt. I'm a DeWalt guy. I buy them, I think it was $2.78 for a 3/16 inch drill bit. So for $3, you can get a really good drill bit, and it'll last you a while for drilling out the rivets and stuff. Again, I'm a DeWalt guy, so I use a drill. This is a 36 volt drill, way overkill, but I like the variable speed so that I can go super slow, or I can go faster, right? So being able to kind of use the trigger to adjust your speed, to me is very useful. But you use a drill, you get used to it, and it works for you. It works. Probably finally, JB Weld. So that is my product that I use to put the cars all back together again. It's a two-part epoxy. I use these paper plates and stuff, right, to mix it on, and also to do a little paint, spray paint. But at the end of the day, I've tried different products, and I don't know, I've always come back to the JB Weld. It seems to be the product that works the best, that lasts the longest, and if you do it right, you're typically not going to have a problem with the car coming apart on you. So, excuse me. So having the JB Weld is good again for reassembling the car. I was buying the little tubes, and because I'm actually getting close to my 2000th car sold, or made and sold, that I've been tracking. 2,000 cars, I do a lot. I'm making close to 15 or 20 a month. So these larger tubes were just it's just buying in bulk, right? I think I got this off of Amazon for maybe like $12 or $13. So if you're starting off and you just want to get the product, maybe buy the smaller tubes, and then if you're really going to get into it, then maybe go bigger. So, and I just use a little toothpick to mix them together and put them on the car. That's how I do that. That's pretty much it when it comes to products. I've showed. Well, actually, no, it's not. Let me back up. One more product I see is glue. So I use the Testors clear glue here, and this is the 1 ounce. I think that's 1 ounce. Yeah. Clear part cement. This is probably, I don't know, there's other glue that's out there, but this is the only glue that I use besides the JB Weld. I use this for gluing the plastic pieces back into the car. So I'll put glue on those areas when I put that back in, and it dries like in 2 hours, I think is what it says. But that is pretty much the only glue that I use. I also glue it when I glue this back together here, but that works out great. So having the glue is very helpful. So I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, maybe just things you got laying around the house, but I've got this little pair of pliers that I bought for this specific purpose because I have my tool bag and other purposes for things, but just a small pair of pliers. This I can use this to grip the cars when they're full of stripper, because you don't want to get the stripper on you. So I use this to grab the cars, and then I'll hold it, and then I'll scrape the paint off of it and the stripper off of it, and I'll do that. So having a nice pair of pliers like this is helpful. So again, this is probably a cheap. It's not even. Yeah, it is a Stanley, so it's just super cheap, pair of pliers that it's nice to have. That's pretty much it for products. Feel free to ask me any questions. Put a comment, shoot me an email. I'll be happy to try to help and at least give you my lessons learned and my experience in doing this. I think it's a super fun hobby. I'm a colors guy. I love colors, and just the varying different colors, the different paint schemes. To me, it's just so much fun to create something that that nobody else has, so I just thoroughly enjoy this hobby. The last few minutes of this time that I have left, let me show you what I've been doing of late. So I just started working this Crest car, or at least decaling it, and it's kind of cool. I really like the way this car is, the paint and then the decal. Just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of neat for me. A 2015 Kyle Larson Homestead Win. Got this piece across the front here. Pre-painted this gray, even though it's not a perfect match. When I go to put this piece around the front, sometimes it lifts a little bit here in the center, and this gray will show through as opposed to the dark blue. It'll look like that, or have a little bit of the gray showing, and it'll look a lot better than the blue showing through. So that is being worked and decaled. Getting ready to use some of the JB Weld in this Trump 2020 truck, the Budweiser, and then Mr. WH. We'll see if I can get this 98 and the Budweiser done for you Saturday. We'll see. It's gonna be interesting, but yeah, I have since finished this car that you guys voted on, the Sublime Green, and I've got it mounted in this little case. I've got a couple more coats of clear sealer to put on it, but I want to take some pictures of it and get that listed tonight. It's Thursday, March 4th, and so we'll get this thing ready to go. I'm real happy you guys can look at the auction and see the close-up pictures of it that I'm ready to take. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Excited about that. I see something on there. See something right there. Well, something on that 18 there. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I got this label printed off here, Zombie Green. So this will be I don't say a one of a kind, but it'll be super rare. I may do another car like that in the future. I also am almost done with this Blaney Dent Wizard Talladega Playoffs car. I pre-painted with the Sharpie lime green down here, which is almost a perfect match on the to the Monster Energy green. I also did the spoiler, which is, I don't know, it's turned out a little bit better than I thought, but normally the spoiler is a pain in the butt when you're using the Monster Energy green, this thing, because it's a rounded tip and it's hard to get into those crevices. So I decided to use the actual decal for the front and the back of the spoiler. And all in all, I'm pretty happy with it. So I painted around this side, and the top, and this side, and then I had to cut a little bit to get it over that little hump there. But it's not flat right there. I'll mess around with that a little bit later. But got that front piece on there, the back piece on there. So I'm pretty happy with it. Again, it's not perfect, but I'm pretty happy with the way that particular spoiler turned out. Still got to do the headlights here. Got to get some of the paint in here. It's funny, on the other Dent Wizard I did, the Brad Keselowski, I used the navy blue to paint in and around the sides, but on this one I used the Rust-Oleum deep blue because the blues are a different shade. This is a little bit lighter than the Keselowski one. But anyways, I'm real happy with it so far. Got the headlights to do, and I'll be done. Yeah, and this is the little box I made for the Kyle Larson Homestead win with my little thing on the side. So that'll be kind of cool. That is basically it, guys. I thank you guys for watching. Appreciate, comments, subscribing. That's pretty cool. But hope you guys have a great day. Mr. Ben, just so you know, your Skittles is gonna move into the starting lineup here. Once I get the JB Weld for this Budweiser car, your Skittles is here. This will be the competition orange, and I'll be using. It's got your name there. I'll be using this Kyle Busch Skittles Dips as a donor car, and we'll use that competition orange right there, so that'll be cool. Looking forward to doing that one for you. Should be fun. Hope you enjoy it. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hope you had a great day, and hope you have a great day. Again, if you're starting this hobby, I think it's a fun hobby with Pato's Place, getting the decals and having the products you need and the workspace and the time. I just think it's a wonderful hobby, and is just so fulfilling when you make something and you realize, hey, that's cool, and then you also you see some things that you could have done a little bit better, and so you tackle the next one and try to do that a little bit better than you did the last one. So yeah, just a lot of fun, and looking forward to seeing you guys. If you're going to start this hobby and you want to do a video or something like that of some of the cars you make, just like I've done, that would be cool. And so, all right, I'll stop rambling on. God bless you guys. Take care. Have a great day.